Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard, and today what we're going to do is take a look at a new flashlight. We're going to take a look at the X4 from Wuben. So we're here in the waning light of the evening. So if the light looks a little weird, it's because the sun is kind of low back here over my left shoulder. So what we're going to look at is this new flashlight from Wuben called the X4. It's kind of an interesting light. You can see it. It's not a traditional round canister light. It is more of a bar light in some ways. And it integrates some of the cool features that they had in the G5. It uses the same battery as the C3, and we're going to compare the three to each other. But it's kind of an interesting light. Now, they sent these out to a lot of the people who run these channels. So probably most of the videos you see out there reviewing this light are going to be videos where Wuben sent these lights to them for free to review. I didn't ask them for this light. They didn't ask me to do anything. Matter of fact, I didn't even know I was getting it. They just sent me an email and said, hey, guess what? We've got a new Wuben X4 on the way to you. So this showed up in the mail. I'm going to take a look at it. If it's like the other lights I've had, I'm probably going to be pleased with it. I have a C3 that I'll show you, and I'm really pleased with that one. I also have a Wuben G5 that I got last year, and I really am pleased with that one. I carry it with me absolutely every single day. So if this is of the same quality and caliber as those two lights, I think we're going to like it. So let's just take it apart. Now, I did take it out of the box so that I could just sort of charge it and make sure it's charged up for this video. Other than that, it is packed back exactly the way it came, with all the packaging and everything in place. So let's just go take a look at the Wuben X4. So this is the box that the Wuben X4 comes in. It's a pretty nice little box. It's got all kinds of information. It's got a lot of information on the back about the specs of the light, and we'll talk about those in a moment. The box looks like it would hang on a hook somewhere, like on a, you could hang a bunch of these on a hook on a wall or something, so you could display them. Now it comes sealed. I've broken the seal because, as I said, I already took it out and pre-charged this light. Now when you take this out of the box, it's going to look like this. That's what you're going to see. And it's got two sections in it. Honestly, I haven't even looked in this section yet, so that'll be a new experience. It'll be an unboxing. I have taken the light out of this section, so let's look at that first. You're going to lift that up. It just simply lifts up. You're going to have the instructions will be on top. Then the battery, or excuse me, the flashlight itself will be included in this little vacuum form section here. I kind of wish Wuben would adapt a cardboard sort of liner for this. It may not be as inexpensive as plastic, but this plastic is not biodegradable. A cardboard form would be biodegradable, and that would be a nice way to make this whole package to be a biodegradable package, which currently it is not. So the flashlight comes with this little bag, and we'll take that out in just a moment. Underneath the vacuum form box, you've got two items. You've got a strap, if you want to put the strap on there. I never use those. And you also have your charging cable, which is a USB on one end and a USB-C on the other. That'll plug into the light. Now let's see on this side. Oh, we don't have anything on that side. It's empty. Okay. So when we take the light out, again, it'd be nice if this was not plastic. If this was something that was biodegradable. It doesn't need to be plastic. Again, this is made in China, so I don't know if they care that much about the biodegradable part, but it'd be nice if they had that. Now, it will come with a blue sort of tape on this. This is to protect the battery compartment in the light, and I'm going to show you how to get into that. So the first thing you'll want to do is take this blue tape off of here. This blue tape is what sort of, like I said, it identifies and protects the battery compartment. Now, it's not altogether clear on the front end how you get into this battery compartment, but what it's got on this end, it's got a little lock right here, and you're going to push it. It's in the lock position when you get it. You'll push it up, and then when you push it up, don't pry it up, you just push this little down arrow right here, and it'll pop right open. Now, this battery is going to have one of these little protectors in it. You're going to need to take that out or it's not going to work. This is exactly the same battery that is in the C3, I believe. We'll find out in a moment. It is an 18650 battery, as you can see. And we are going to take a look at this battery and charge it up, see how well it works, and talk about its capability. So you just put it in there, you push that down till it clicks, And then you're going to want to relock it by simply taking this switch right here and sliding it back down. Very simple. Now, it also has a really nice stout pocket clip on the back. I like this pocket clip. It's going to be nice and strong. It's going to stick to you. The one thing about the G5, and I think I've got it here, I can show you. The G5 pocket clip is pretty small, and it's not particularly stiff or stout. You can bend it if you needed to. But then again, this is a much smaller light. It doesn't have the same kind of use intention as this light does. It's a more heavy-duty light. It's got 2 screws that screws this on. This can go on a pocket, on your pants, on a belt. It's big enough that a belt could go through it if you wanted to do that way. So it's pretty stout there. Now, you've got 2 lights. You've got a light source on the front. And I've got that on, so let me turn that off. So it's got a light source on the front. It's also got a bar light, sort of a LED light on the side. It's got 4 LED lights in here. It's sort of got flood and spotlight capability. And it also has these lights down here, which are kind of nice. Now on the side, this light has got a switch with 4 positions. If you remember, on the G5, it's only got 3 positions. It's got a lock position, an on position, and a charging position. Because this has 2 lights, here and here, it's going to have 4 positions. So this is in the lock position when it's all the way down this way. And it has 2 arrows and a little lock right here. Now, click it up once, you're going to be in the bar light position, and your bar light will come on. If you click it up to the next light, your main light will come on. And if you push it up all the way, it will reveal your charging port. So that's your charging position right there. So 4 positions on that light. Now, just like the G5, this light, so let's go to the main light. When you turn this light on, it's got it'll go all the way to 1500 lumens, by the way, which is pretty doggone impressive. The 1500 lumens is a pretty bright light. So you turn that on. Right now, I happen to have it in the brightest position. And the reason I know that is because if I turn my wheel, so it's got a little wheel right here on the side. And this little wheel on the side allows you to graduate the intensity of the beam. Now, when it's all the way up, it will flash like that. Okay, you see the way it flashed? That means it's as high as it can go. I can also turn it down significantly, and now it's at its lowest intensity. And again, I know that because when I push it one more time, see it flashed? When it flashes like that, that tells you you're at the as far as it'll go. So it'll go down this far, and it'll go all the way up to 1500 lumens. And it'll burn at that for quite a while if you need it to. Let's turn it down here because we don't. Now, the other thing is the switch for turning it on is here on the side. And this switch has a memory on it. So if I'm in low mode and I turn this off, then I turn it back on, it's going to come back on in the same mode. If this was on in the bright mode and I turn it off, it's going to come back on in the same bright mode. So I think it's a good idea to always turn these down. So if they come on accidentally, it's not going to run your battery down all the way. If I hold this down and hold it, nothing happens, right? So unlike the Wuben G5, holding this down and just holding it doesn't do anything. If I double click it, it goes immediately to high beam. If I double click it, it goes back down to the bottom where I had it. So double clicking when it's in the flashlight mode, when it's in the main mode, will take this immediately to the highest intensity. So you don't have to even use the wheel to get it there. So if that's what you're trying to do, you can get it there. We'll show you when it gets dark. I'll show you how bright this thing is. It's supposed to have a throw of 205 meters. We'll actually shoot it across the cow pasture back here and see how it works when the sun goes down. Now, if I click it back one to the bar mode, you're going to see it's going to bring the bar light on. And there you go. And just like with the other, I can adjust this bar light. This bar light isn't going to go to 1500 lumens, but it's going to be pretty bright. So that's where the wheel is what works at. And just like the other, when I get to the bottom, it'll flash. Now, here's what's interesting about this one. If I double click it, nothing really happens. But if I click and hold it, I get all these different colors that come on. There are 8 different colors associated with this flashlight, and as I move the wheel, see they change? Look at that. I can change and have a lot of different colors on this light. That's a really nice feature, particularly if you're trying to do something around the campfire at night, trying to create some mood, or you just want to use a red light. Some people prefer a red light at night because it's not as visible to people around you. If I click it, it goes to a flash mode. Okay, double click it, goes out of the flash mode. And then if I click and hold it, it goes back to my bar mode. So really useful tools here so far as the different ways that this light can be used. Now if I go all the way up, I am in the charging mode, and I can charge this. This will turn on in what it calls a moonlight mode, even when I am in charging mode. It will not go, if I double click it, it does not go to to my high beam when I'm in charging mode. So I can use this as in a moonlight mode even when I am charging it with the charging port open. Now even when this is closed, it's not going to come on, right? But when I put it back in flashlight mode, in addition to the switch on the side, there's a tail switch on this thing right here. This tail switch may be a little problematic. You can hit it very easily, and when you hit it, it comes on temporarily. It's not a complete, it doesn't come on and stay on. So it's kind of nice if you just wanted to hold it just temporarily, and then you let it up and it goes off. Look at that. Ooh, it goes to strobe mode if I double click the tail switch. And then when I click it back on, see it comes on. Only when I'm holding it down does the light come on. When I let it up, the light goes off. So that's a nice little feature. Another thing that I will demonstrate when we get to where there's some metal is that this is a matter of fact, I'll just demonstrate it on my knife here. This is a magnet on the end. It's a pretty strong magnet. So if I take it to my knife and I put this thing on my knife, it pretty much holds. Okay, now if I shake the knife, it'll come off, okay? But the truth of the matter is, that's a pretty strong hold. And look at that. If I do it like that, the tail switch comes on and the light comes on. When I pull it off, of course, the tail switch releases and it goes off. If I put it on again, look at that, the light comes on. I take it off, and the light goes off. Now, if I don't want the tail switch, I just turn it, and I do it that way. But why wouldn't you want the tail switch? Because the whole point of putting it on something, so it stays there so you can create light. This would be a great, you can hang this up in your tent, and it would be a great light for you to hang in your tent. Maybe it would be great light to put, if you're doing some work, to put on a cabinet. And again, you can put that on there, and you get the light come on with the tail switch. Take it off, whoops, and the tail switch goes off. I just dropped it, but that's okay. Now, that's pretty much all the features of the light. I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I think that it has a lot of neat features. It's kind of heavy, and we'll talk about the weight of it in a moment compared to the G5. Much heavier than the G5. And let's look at the size of these things. You can see the G5 is about the size of a cigarette lighter. And I kind of like that. I can put this in my pocket. I drop it in my pocket. I carry this with me every day. I'm not sure I would carry the X4 with me every single day. It's more of a pocket flashlight, certainly a good work flashlight. I'm probably going to put this flashlight in the emergency bag that's in my truck because I like this better than my my O-Light, which is the i5T. This is bigger than that and gives me a much brighter light than that one does. So let's take a look at the X4 when compared to the Wuben C3. So the C3 is a much longer flashlight. It is a canister style flashlight, one we're more used to. Both of these have similar capabilities, similar brightness to them. They're just different kinds of lights. This is more of a tactical light. This is more, I think, of a work light or a get around in the dark light than this one might be. You're going to have to hold this one. This one does not have a magnetic base on it the way this one does. And of course, it has the little magnetic picture on it right here so you can see that. So if you look at these three lights together, you can see that Obviously, the G5 is much thinner than either of them. The X4 is about, it's about the same width as the C5. It's definitely shorter. They weigh about the same in the hand. I could weigh them on a scale, but I think the hand test is as good as anything. They weigh about the same. Now, the C3 has got the 2600 milliamp 18650 battery right there. This light has the ABE 3400. So I'm guessing that that is a different battery than this one, even though they both say 18650. So I'm not sure what the difference is in those two lights, those two batteries. They are slightly different color. You can tell the one for the G5 is a little darker than the one for the C3. They both say Wuben on them, and they are both rechargeable inside the light. So I'm not sure that at least the battery's the same size. There may be something a little different in the battery. I'm not enough of an electrical engineer to understand the difference there. This one is all in Chinese. It says it's 3.65 volts, 3,350 milliamps. This one is only 2,600 milliamps, and it is see if it tells me how many volts it is. Actually, it doesn't say on the battery how many volts this is. So that's kind of interesting. But these two batteries are slightly different. The battery in the G5's got a little bit more capacity than the battery that was in the C3. So we've looked at all the aspects of this. I'm not going to go through all the specs. You can read the back of the box if you want to see the specs. I showed you that earlier. So the next thing I'm going to do is when it gets dark, we're going to test this out both outdoors and we're going to test it in the house to see how it lights up a room. But we're also going to test it outdoors to see how well it lights up and how far the throw is on this thing. So let's just wait till it gets dark and we'll see how this thing works. Okay, so we're going to test the light out in the basement with all the lights out. I see a few blinking lights that's over at the TV set. But let's just turn on the light in the lowest mode. So that's the lowest mode for the light. Not bad. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this light and I'm going to turn it way up. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. That's it. Maximum illumination. I'd say that lights the room up pretty well. Now let's go to the bar mode. So now we're in bar mode. I'm getting nothing. The camera's picking up nothing. Okay, let's go to a bright bar mode. Okay, now that's the bright bar mode. And this is the minimal bar mode. Now, I can see stuff in front of my hand, but it's not being thrown very far. You can see that. That's lighting up the room with the bar. Not as much as the main light, but not bad. So next we're going to go outside and see how it does when we go outside. Okay, I've got the bar light on and I'm going to illuminate my face. This is the lowest level for the bar light. So if I turn the bar light way up, and we'll do that, that's pretty bright, a little too bright. If we shine it out here, we can see some stuff, I guess. We can sort of see what's going on here outdoors, see the tree and such. Can't really see out into the field much. It doesn't really show us much out that way. So let's switch to the main light and we'll turn that on. Okay, this is the main light. Again, you can see absolutely nothing here. If I make this a little bit brighter, okay, now we can start to see some stuff, right? Let me go to maximum brightness. I can see quite a ways out there. If I do this, I can see quite a ways down in these woods. I don't know if it's 205 meters, but I can see quite a ways out there in those woods, in that field. It's not showing up real good on the camera, but I can see clear. I can see the trees clear on the other side of that field. So that's not bad. Nice little light, very compact. It's mostly all battery. The thing doesn't weigh any more than the C3 does. It's got some of the same functionality as the G5. I think it's going to be a great light for outdoors or for indoors. It's got that nice magnet on the bottom that will help you when you need to stick it to something so you can work. You don't have to prop the light on a shelf like you do with the C3. I suppose it would fit on your hat if you really wanted it to, like that. So that's kind of nice. But other than that, I think it's a nice, handy little light. I think I'm going to be glad to have it. Thank you, Wuben. And I'm going to put up, I'll just be honest, I'm going to give it a pretty good review. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's a nice little light, really cool design, really nice packaging, and really nice functionality. Hey, if you like the video, please click the link below to give the thumbs up. We'd love you to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get our subscribers up to 6,000. And also, if you really want to subscribe and you want to see more of these videos, click the notification bell and you'll be notified every time we issue a new video. In the meantime, remember what we always say, stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.